Have you ever had that feeling? You're in a crowded room, maybe trying to follow a conversation, but you only catch bits and pieces.
Oh, absolutely. Like a familiar face flashes by that everything else is just a blur.
Exactly. It really makes you wonder, what are we actually noticing? And maybe more importantly, what are we completely missing out on?
It's a great question.
And that's really what we want to dive into today, how our brains process the world, reality itself, and this idea of mindfulness.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling when you actually look at the numbers, the sheer amount of raw data hitting our senses every second.
Right, what are we talking about? Like quantity-wise?
Well, estimates range, but some say it's around 11 million bits per second. Others put it way, way higher, maybe even 400 billion bits every single second.
Wow. Okay, 11 million to potentially 400 billion bits. And how much of that do we actually consciously perceive?
That's the kicker. Our conscious mind, it probably gets maybe 40 to 50 bits per second, max.
50 out of millions or billions. That's almost nothing.
It's tiny. To put it another way, you're consciously aware of like less than 5/10,000ths of a percent of everything your brain is actually handling.
That's hard to even wrap your head around. Less than 5/10,000ths of a percent.
It really is. Think about just walking into a meeting room.
Uh,
Okay. Subconsciously, your brain is just vacuuming up information.
like what sort of stuff?
Well, everyone's body language, right?
Hmm.
Tiny facial expressions, the tone people are using, the specific words they choose, but also the room itself.
The room, you mean like the lighting, temperature?
Exactly. Lighting, temperature, background noise, maybe even the arrangement of the chairs. Plus, it's pulling in history.
History, like my past experiences with these people.
Precisely. Your history with them, the unspoken power dynamics, your own goals for the meeting, what you think they want. It's this massive, ongoing stream of data processing all happening below the surface.
Okay, so if all that's coming in, how do we not just short circuit? How do we function?
Ah, well, that's thanks to a really crucial part of the brain called the reticular activating system, the
The res-
RAS.
The RIS. Okay, what does that do?
You can think of it as your brain's bouncer,
Yeah.
or maybe a personal curator. Its job is to filter out almost everything, basically, to prevent total sensory overload. It decides what gets your attention.
A filter. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what tells the filter what's important and what's just noise to be ignored? It can't be random, can it?
No, definitely
No.
not random. And that's where it gets really personal. These filters are shaped, deeply shaped by your life, your habits, your beliefs, past experiences, even your programmed knee-jerk reactions.
I've built my own filters based on my life.
You essentially have, yeah. You've been programming and fine-tuning them without even realizing it your entire life.
Wow. So my perception of reality, it's not like a live video feed. It's more like a highly edited, customized highlight reel based on these filters I've built.
That's a great way to put it, precisely. And that brings us to the core idea for today's deep dive. We want to explore how practicing mindfulness might actually help us gently adjust those filters.
Adjust them. How so?
The goal isn't to get rid of filters, we need them. But mindfulness can potentially make them less rigid, more permeable perhaps, allowing us to consciously access a bit more of that wider spectrum of information our brains are already taking in.
That sounds really powerful. So how does being more mindful actually do that? Make the filters let more through? What's the process?
Well, when you practice mindfulness, you're essentially training your attention. You're learning to be more present, less caught up in automatic thoughts and judgments.
Okay.
And this increased awareness, this presence, it can naturally lead to less restrictive filtering. You start noticing things you might have missed before, like subtle signals, maybe a flicker of doubt in someone's eyes, or a slight hesitation in their voice that hints at something more, or even just contextual details about a situation you overlooked.
And noticing those things allows for a different kind of response.
Often, yes. You can respond more thoughtfully, more effectively, instead of just reacting based on your old patterns or assumptions. This clarity, it can sometimes unlock creative approaches to work you just didn't see before.
It's like upgrading your internal operating system, in a way. It's interesting. The video we're drawing from today makes a comparison to AI. How does that fit in?
Yeah, that's a fascinating parallel.
Hmm.
Because AI systems fundamentally also use filtering systems, right? They have to sift through enormous amounts of data to give us relevant results.
Like a search engine, filtering billions of pages.
Exactly like a search engine. It uses algorithms' complex filters to decide what's most relevant to your search query. So just like our RAS filters sensory input, AI algorithms filter data based on programmed criteria.
So our brains and AI, there's a similar challenge there, handling information overload.
There really is. And understanding this connection is key. Just as we can consciously work on refining our mental filters through mindfulness, we can also learn to collaborate better with AI.
How does mindfulness help with AI collaboration?
Well, if you're more mindful, more aware of your own thought processes and biases, you develop a better sense of sharper intuition for when AI's strengths are most useful.
Strengths like processing huge data sets, finding patterns.
Right. You see where AI can really enhance your work.
Hmm.
But just as importantly, you also become more attuned to situations where human judgment, our nuance, our empathy, our understanding of context is absolutely crucial and irreplaceable.
That's a really vital point. It's not about replacing humans, but finding the synergy. Human insight plus AI power.
Exactly. That combination, our broadened human understanding, sharpened by mindfulness, integrated with AI's data crunching ability, that's where we can potentially make much, much better decisions across the board.
Okay, so bringing this back to the practical. The video we're discussing has a self-assessment exercise, right? You mentioned it's a one-time thing.
Yes, it's framed as a single, focused exercise.
Mhm.
It's designed to give you a direct personal experience of how your attention works right now, in this moment.
Interesting. Can you give us a little teaser without spoiling the exercise itself? What's the general setup like for this 3-minute activity?
Sure. The setup itself is very straightforward. It basically involves directing your attention in a specific way for just 3 minutes.
That's it. Just 3 minutes. And
Then right after, the video walks you through analyzing and interpreting what you just experienced. It's really about observing your own mind. Where does your focus go naturally? What pulls it away?
sounds like a very direct way to get some instant feedback on your own attentional patterns. Now, the video also mentions mindfulness being useful in professional contexts, specifically agile. Can you elaborate on that? How does mindfulness fit into agile work?
Yeah, in an agile setting, which is all about collaboration, iteration, responding to change, mindfulness can be really beneficial. It helps team members be more present during discussions, leading to clearer communication, better shared understanding of the work,
Okay, so better teamwork. What else?
better decision-making, too. When you're more present, you can assess situations with more clarity, respond more thoughtfully instead of just reacting impulsively. And generally, it tends to improve interpersonal relationships within the team, which is huge in Agile.
So it fosters a more conscious, adaptive environment for doing that kind of iterative work. And you touched on this, but the video hints at this bigger potential combining mindfulness with AI insights.
Absolutely. And this is where things get really exciting, potentially transformative.
Yeah.
Think about it. You take that enhanced human awareness, the ability to pick up subtle cues, understand context deeply, and you combine it with AI's power to analyze vast data.
The synergy we talked about.
Exactly. The potential to really amplify human capabilities, to make far more effective, nuanced decisions. It's quite remarkable to
It
consider.
really is a compelling vision. Okay, so for listeners who are thinking, all right, I'm interested, I want to try this. What are some simple, actionable mindfulness techniques from the video they could start with, like today?
The video offers 3 really practical ones. First, just taking brief awareness breaks. Simple 30-second pauses.
30 seconds, that's it.
Yep. Just pause, maybe a few times a day, and consciously notice your surroundings. What do you see, hear, smell right now? It just anchors you back into the present moment.
Okay. Short awareness breaks. Easy enough. What's the second one?
The second is checking in with your body, speech, and mind. Again, periodically through the day, just do a quick internal scan.
Body, speech, mind. How does that work?
Notice your body, any tension, shoulders tight, jaw clenched. Notice your speech. If you're talking, what's your tone like? Getting sharp, impatient, and notice your mind. What thoughts are running? Are you worried, scattered, calm? Don't judge it, just notice. The key is making it a regular habit.
Ah, cultivating that awareness muscle.
Got it.
And the third technique?
The third involves setting occasional, maybe random reminders for yourself. Just a little ping to prompt you to check in with whatever you're experiencing right then. Your thoughts, your emotions.
A little mindfulness alarm clock.
Sort of. And the video suggests maybe keeping a quick log. Doesn't have to be detailed, just jot down what you notice. Over time, you might start seeing patterns, which is really valuable self-knowledge.
Those all sound very manageable, things you could actually weave into a busy day. And it's crucial to remember, like the video stresses, this isn't about suddenly becoming perfectly calm or never having a distracting thought, is it?
Not at all. That's a common misconception. It's really a gradual process. You're just gently, consistently expanding your awareness little by little, tapping into more of what your brain is already doing beneath the surface. It's an exploration, not about achieving perfection.
A journey of exploration. I like that. Well, this has been incredibly illuminating, really digging into how our brains filter reality and how mindfulness can help us access so much more.
It's fascinating stuff.
Absolutely. And for everyone listening, if you're curious about that self-assessment exercise we mentioned, we really do encourage you to watch the source video. The exercise itself kicks off around the 3-minute and 16-second mark.
Yeah, give it a try. It's only 3 minutes.
Take that moment, see what you notice about your own information processing, and then just think about it. Imagine layering that deeper, more nuanced awareness you cultivate onto the kinds of insights AI tools can already provide.
That combination really could unlock incredible potential, better decisions, increased human capacity.
Truly exciting possibilities. So definitely click on those thumbnails or the links you'll find in the description. Check out the source video, do the exercise, and explore this further.